Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is Mr. Maxwell, and welcome back to another side quest about video games with myself and Exilemagpie.
Hello!
Well, let's just kick off in the most bizarre thing that you could possibly do.
The biggest own goal Sony could have ever done.
Yeah. They decided that everybody who played Helldivers has to have a PlayStation account.
Now, apparently that was... So, TLDR. Helldivers 2 comes out. Is a phenomenally good, well put together game and takes all the AAA game live services and smashes their face in because it's a complete game. It has good content.
Well, it's a live service.
And
it's like a real live service.
It's a proper live service which comes out with actual live content at a regular pace and at a pace that I'm hoping is not over pushing the developers and the people who are working for the developers. To be honest, I've not heard anything bad in the development.
Well, I mean, at the moment, the only thing that, like, the most of the stuff that they're releasing is like the
new weapons. The thing is also, like, new enemies aren't announced.
Yeah,
they just start showing up.
Yeah, they just show up.
They just start showing up, and that is that. Now we have to put allegedly because the Thingy of Truth has not officially announced it from Super Earth, but we have to be careful.
Obviously, you know. Don't want any heresy
we do not want to undermine democracy.
Yeah, that's true.
But we cannot deny the footage from certain Helldivers who have provided evidence that the bugs can fly.
That could be anti-democracy.
Anti-democratic propaganda from the bugs. That is very true.
That's true.
But anyway, so all so far so good.
Yeah, everything's
doing great. It's getting applauded throughout everyone. People are saying that this potentially could be Game of the Year. And all Sony had to do
was not do anything.
Was nothing. Yeah. So supposedly Sony it was announced a few days ago that anyone who had Helldivers 2 on PC would have to, in the next update, have a PlayStation Network account.
Yeah.
To be able to still play the game.
Yeah, which in fairness, isn't that bad. Just the idea, just this bit. It's not that bad. Like, due to the fact that, like, if you want to play Halo, you've got to have a Microsoft. If you want to play any Ubisoft game, you've got to have Ubisoft.
If you have played any Take-Two game like XCOM, you originally didn't have to have a fucking.
Now you do.
Now you do.
So you know,
because I have both XCOM and Civilization 6, and it's annoying.
Having the PSN account isn't the bad thing here.
It's two things that are really sucky. One, even though it was temporarily because of the demand, the game launched without that need, and all the other games we've stated. Well, actually, no, tell a lie. Civilization 6 and XCOM 2 did not originally launch with the demand for their 2K account. I mean, granted, all you do is click a button and it links to your Steam account, but still, it's an annoying fuck for additional launcher bullshit from Take-Two. Anyway, I'm digressing. Need to keep on point. The second thing is, not every country that has Steam access has a PlayStation Network.
Yeah,
and you can't open a PlayStation Network account from a country that you are not currently in.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, the PC community were rightfully very pissed off.
Yes.
And so they started to review bomb the game. To the point where it went from overwhelmingly positive to mixed to
massively negative.
Over 50% negative.
Yeah, it was
which
bad.
Is in a space of like a week is
not even a week. It was a couple of days.
Is a massive feat.
Well,
not for good reasons.
And
Sony were pretty quiet about it, but what was telling was the fan accounts. Well, not the fan. The Arrowhead's the own staff of Arrowhead, both the community managers and the head lead developer, were all saying, "Look, this is not. We've been trying to figure out how to do this properly and not piss everyone off. It's not our call." Sony is basically saying this, and to be honest, I'm like, for fuck's sake, Sony.
Of course.
Because of course you are. You're in the prime dominant position in the console market. Of course you're going to pull bullshit. This is why I want Microsoft to do well. Why? Just Sony. Just stop. Look, you didn't have to do anything. Anyway, so they were all basically saying, look, we can't do anything. However, if you want refunds, demand refunds. Especially for those that were basically going to not be able to play the game, because Sony then removed Helldivers 2
off Steam.
from Steam from every country that didn't have PlayStation Network access.
Yeah.
So people who had legitimately bought the game and sung its praises were now not able to play the game, which is the most douchebaggery thing ever. I mean, was it last week or the week before we were talking about Ubisoft pulling?
Yeah.
I'm like, for the love of fucking God.
No, they're just all in competition with each other.
Can you stop having a dick swinging contest of how much of a douchebag you can be? It's not a competition you should be really in. Anyway. So, the developers of Arrowhead were literally saying, look, yes, we know this was going to happen, but we've been trying to figure out a way
to get
around it, or at least, make it not as awful for everyone. It's really bad because, it's... But if you want to complain, don't do it to us because, we're on your side. We don't like this either. It's Sony. Just review bomb the game. Although some people started review bombing Helldivers 1, which was like, dude, it's
very weird. The weird thing is, right, this shows how fickle the actual people on the internet are, right? So they were review bombing Helldivers 2, right? Do you want to know what these people were doing in the meantime?
Go on.
They were pre-ordering Ghost of Tsushima so much that Ghost of Tsushima is the #1 pre-order on Steam.
Yeah, and it's like, this is Sony again.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, what are you doing? Don't bash Sony and then buy their products.
Yeah, it doesn't send the right message.
Not when it's like shit like this.
Anyway. Literally like, what was it, this morning?
Or this morning.
Yes, late last
this
night. Morning. It's... Sony has responded. They've basically said they've shelved the plans to force people. Yeah, to force people to create a PlayStation Network account. And as a person who has Helldivers 2 on PlayStation, is an openly admitted, Sony fanboy who has played on every single Sony console, I can only just say the demand to force everyone onto the PlayStation Network accounts was wrong. Shouldn't have done it. Call Sony out for it. It's a bullshit move. Just like I complain about fucking being forced to have an Xbox account to play Halo on a PC and etc. 2K and all that sort of stuff. No, it shouldn't. If you've bought it on Steam, you should just be allowed to play it. I'm annoyed that I have to have multiple accounts, but anyway, and I can only just say, yes, finally, you shouldn't... This should have been an instant day one reaction from Sony. They shouldn't have waited 2-3 days for the review bombs.
This goes back to our thing of like how they're not in touch with the public.
Yeah,
because
with the market.
They generally probably thought, I'll be alright. Yeah. People will be annoyed for a couple of days and then we'll just write it out.
I mean, it's also a bank holiday weekend. Well, here in the UK it is. It's been a weekend. So I'm wondering if, because, even though there's, it's possible that the people who make the decisions haven't been at work for 2 days, and now they've come in and seen the absolute bomb site that they've created by this demand. And I do think it is literally like the Sony literally going, look, we wanted this in the game on launch. we knew we couldn't make it work for launch because of the demand that was literally no one expected. So we pushed it aside, but it's been like 2-3 months. So come on, we need to implement this now. And again, this is where there should have been someone in the room going,
no,
you don't understand. Like, yes, I understand you originally wanted this, but this is a gift. This is a gift. Like, you have an amazing fucking product launch. Everyone is singing its praises. You don't just... So, you're not... you can... The shareholders will be a bit pissy that all those people playing Helldivers 2 are not PlayStation Network accounts. So what? They are playing a Sony PlayStation.
Right, the thing is about that, like, you could turn around and be like, look, okay, fine. Let's get everybody on the PlayStation Network account. But most of the countries that we've sold the game to don't have PlayStation Network. So we need, before we roll out this, we need to sort that out. Yeah. Because if we don't sort that out, we're gonna have problems.
Or even so, I've seen on social media a lot of other people saying, like, instead of forcing it, why don't you make it an incentive? If you link your PlayStation account to your Steam, or if you make a PlayStation account with your Steam account for Helldivers 2, you get X, Y, and Z goodies.
Yeah, they should totally do that.
That's the way they should have done it, but they didn't. It was just, and it's the sort of bullshittery that Sony, like I've been saying, that Sony does when they're in the dominant position in the market. And it's fucking like, it's like bashing my head against the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, for the love of fucking God, you have a good thing here. Stop trying to ruin it. But, so they have walked about it. But the trust damage that has been caused by this will be felt when Ghost of Tsushima launches, when God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, a whole bunch, because Sony has a bunch of really good games on the horizon for PC launches, right? And if they can just get their fucking ports figured out and not be broken as hell like certain games
Horizon
on launch, then it'd be great, because they are very, very good games, and I would really love more people to play really, really good games. It's why if Sony announced certain games to be launched on the Xbox, I wouldn't really poo-poo it, even though I understand that your point is like, no, you're but anyway,
I wouldn't... Right, say Ghost of Tsushima and God of War Ragnarok and all that came out now on the Xbox. I wouldn't poo-poo it. Because they've been out... that was last gen.
They've had their market life on the PlayStation.
Last gen 1. But, like, that's like... that's like putting... What games come out for the PS5?
It'd be like Stellar Blade being launched on Xbox.
Yeah, like, what's the point of you doing that when you've done this? To get you, like, you need to give it time before putting it somewhere else. Hence what's going on with PC.
Yeah, and like I say, I've always been advocating that the game should be able to be released on as many things as possible to give the most amount of people the opportunity to play these games. But now there's going to be this underlying trust issue.
Yeah, there's going to be whenever you download a PlayStation game now, you're going to be like, am I going to have a PlayStation account for this and all that sort of stuff?
It's very disappointing.
I don't understand how they thought. Like, I know this is because what we said is that they're completely out of touch. How they generally thought, let's put everybody on a PlayStation Network account.
Even those
even the ones that don't have a PlayStation Network.
To have an
like, how does that even work? How do you not think of this?
Again,
I wouldn't mind if it was like, there's only three or four countries that don't have a PlayStation Network account. But it's like what, 72 or something? It's something ridiculous. It's
a large number.
It's a very big number for you to just happen to forget that don't have a PlayStation Network.
Again, this is more evidence to point towards these people have no actual knowledge or inclination of the market they're in. Because that's the first thing you should really find out. is when we implement this rule, are the people that are playing our game and spending money on our game, because we've been saying for the past few weeks that the fan base for the Helldivers 2 is that happy with the game, they've been asking for more ways to spend money on it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, if you make a very good game, people are willing to support it because they're enjoying it and they want to show their appreciation by buying more stuff. And so it's like the first port of call would be like, are the people that are paying the money, spending money on our game, are they going to be able to still play that game when we implement this change? But that would mean that they'd actually have actual knowledge and
actually put work into it.
They would actually have to go and look or ask someone to look. And unfortunately, people in executive decision-making positions in the AAA game industry don't seem to want to do that. Because because they have this hubris around them of, well, we are clearly in positions of power, therefore we must be omnipotent, and therefore we can't do anything wrong. I mean, that's the only way you can get decisions like Overwatch and Diablo 4's shop. Yeah. The only way you get Ubisoft CEO claiming that
Skull and Bones
is a quadruple A game. I mean, yes, it is quadruple ass. That's so terrible. Technically, you could class it right, but I don't think that's what they mean.
No.
And a whole bunch of other stuff like Phil Spencer defense of we should be allowed to buy Activision Blizzard because our games suck. How that worked, I still don't know.
I don't understand how his employees are still working for him. Can you imagine that? Imagine your boss coming around and going, "Oh, don't worry about it. We need to be able to do this because, well, my employees suck at their job." Our developers can't do their job. Our games suck because our developers are shit. That's basically what you're saying. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's time for Sony to put their foot in their mouth. Yeah. This is the biggest own goal I think I've ever seen in my life. They literally had an open goal on the penalty spot, and they've turned around and kicked it the other way.
Yeah. And again, like, all they had to do was nothing.
Yeah. Like,
all Sony had to do was literally turn around to Arrowhead Games and go, "Oh, you know that thing? that thing we wanted implemented about the PlayStation now. The game is making gangbusters and doing so well." The thing is,
like, there again, as I've said before, like, I understand wanting the PlayStation Network. Yeah, I understand that. My problem isn't that. My problem is the fact that they've gone, "Oh, we need everybody on PlayStation Network," and somebody has to have gone and told them that there's a lot of countries that are playing this game that don't have the PlayStation Network. Somebody has to have told them. And they've still probably gone on with it.
Yeah.
It'll be perfectly fine. They'll probably gone, well, there's VPNs, they can just use that.
To which actually breaks the rules in the the PS. When you create a PSN account, that haven't used it, making it through a VPN, basically lying as to which country you're in.
Breaks the rules
of the account. So therefore, you run the risk of getting banned.
Yeah. So, it's friggin' annoying. Again.
I was waiting for Sony to do something.
Have you ever noticed, like, Sony, they always do this shit when everything's fine.
Yes.
When there's really nothing there to really complain about for Sony, they just come along and they just do something stupid.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason. It's just like, what is it? Is nobody talking about you? Is that the problem?
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about you whatsoever. So you've got to do something so that, like, you feel special or something. I don't know. Like when a child, the only attention they get is when somebody gets mad at them, so they constantly be naughty, so that they get more attention. I feel like it's that.
Yeah, it just, like I say though, all they had to do was either nothing or tell Arrowhead, "Oh, you know that thing we wanted you to implement? Yeah, the game's doing so well, I don't think we need to."
You know what the worst part about this as well is, like, if it is the case of, like, oh, nobody's talking about us, let's do something stupid. Apparently the next update for the PS5 is apparently going to be a really, really good one and make it even better.
Yeah.
Like make the systems work a lot better on the engine and all that sort of stuff. And I've been looking on YouTube, and the people who talk about the technicality stuff and like updates that are coming for like Xbox, and they were talking about it, and they were like, unfortunately no one's going to be talking about this because everyone's going to be talking about the Helldivers situation.
Yep.
It's just like, what? You couldn't wait a week?
So just yeah, you couldn't wait a week. You couldn't just, like I say, you had to fucking. And again, I do feel like the reason why it's taken so long for it to be. And then again, like, it's when Microsoft does this bullshit, they take a few days to respond, and it's like, this should be a day one thing.
No, they don't. Microsoft takes ages to fucking respond.
And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like every company.
The only reason why Sony's taken this short of a time, because let's be honest, this is quite quick compared to other companies, is that the impact on Helldivers has happened like that.
Yeah,
like it's gone. I think in one day it went from.
I mean, everyone's come and said yes. A game that has trained people to work together to achieve a common goal.
Yeah.
When impacted negatively by a decision.
Yeah.
Has worked together.
Yeah.
To achieve a common goal.
For democracy.
I think the Genji meme of congratulations, you just played yourself is apt. But anyway, I'm like, it is literally a hand in head.
Like, why?
Moment. Like,
why are you why do you do this? Who hurt you?
There was no need. And this is why I want this, again, like I said, Sony only does this sort of shit. Like this. Like we don't want cross-play because we want to protect our gamers. Fuck off, that's not why. Yeah. They only pull this shit when they're in the dominant position. Now, granted, they don't go all completely Microsoft and go, yes, we're going to mandatorily DRM your consoles. At their launch, I'm sorry, but I'm never letting Microsoft forget that. No, because
the E3 pitched so bad, somebody lost their job.
Yep. The E3 banners and pretty much torpedoed the Xbox One before it was even launched. Well done, Microsoft. Well done, Xbox. Congratulations. Again.
But this is so stupid.
But yeah, this is, I mean, like I say, it's not on that level of, they never are that level of stupidity.
This is pretty close. This is pretty close.
Yeah, like, it's just like, why did you decide to torpedo your most successful game of the year? Why did you do that? Why? What is wrong? What is wrong with you? Get some help.
Stop it.
Stop it.
This is another incursion of like, just there needs to be somebody in the room that just says no.
That just go. Yeah. No. I think the thing is, right, they should be allowed to. There should be someone in the decision making process that not only says this is a bad idea, but explains why.
Well, that's
and is allowed, and more importantly, is allowed to say that without being poo-pooed or shut down by anyone else in the room. Like they're allowed to literally go, "This is a terrible idea," and X, Y, and Z, Y. And then if you listen to X, Y, and Z, Y and still go on ahead with it, and it blows up in your face, I'm allowed to come into the next meeting and basically tell everyone via loudspeakerphone, you are an absolute fucking arsehole.
No. You are allowed to go in with a fucking marching band.
No. A megaphone and a microphone system to the entire office.
Yeah.
And basically say, you have been an asshole. I told you what would happen. It has happened. You now have to reverse it because you're a fucking idiot. Without any consequences of being fired or reprimanded. That would be their only job. To basically point out terrible decisions, explain why the terrible decision is, and if they go ahead with the terrible decision, to basically mock them. They can mock them for the entire remainder of the lifespan of that game. Until they rectify the problem.
To which, to be fair, Sony are pulling back on the
Yes, credit where credit's due. Now they just need to reinstate the game in the countries that they've pulled from Steam from. Yes. So they've not fully. They've not yet. Now, granted, it could be that it takes time to reenact them.
Yeah.
So it could be something that's happening as we speak. By the time this video goes up, it could be they've reenacted. Because I've seen some users on social media say they didn't have access and now they do. So it may be something that's being implemented now because
bit by bit.
Bit by bit. But it is the biggest self-inflicted L of the year.
Oh yeah, I don't think anything's going to be this.
I am surprised it's Sony that's done it. I expected like Ubisoft because quadruple A.
I think that is their L. The quadruple A. That's their L this year.
Well, Ubisoft's L.
Ubisoft's L, yeah. Everybody gets an L. Last year was for Microsoft was everything that came out of Phil Spencer's mouth.
Yeah.
Just everything came out of his mouth was just terrible and bad.
And everything that was said about Starfield being the game of a generation.
The most important game of the generation.
No, it wasn't.
No. Fallout, the greatest RPG ever made.
Fallout 1?
Not even Fallout 1. No.
I'm on about the games that aren't even made by Bethesda.
No.
Again, the thing is like they marketed Starfield like that in the same year that Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
What I don't understand is like this is what I mean. Like, because Sony do it as well. Sony are fucking bad at this shit as well because they'll market something. They're like Babylon's Fall. Fucking hell. They'll market something like it's the next big fucking thing, and then it'll come out and it'll be absolute fucking shit. And you're just like, you spent all that marketing.
Godfall.
I like Godfall. And Godfall didn't have that big of a marketing. Not as much as like Babylon's Fall and
Babylon Fall was Square Enix though, wasn't it?
It was Platinum.
Yeah, no, it was Platinum that made it, but it was published by Square Enix, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but only on the PlayStation. So the PlayStation was like, yeah, we've got Babylon. Yeah. This PlayStation that was like advertising it and hyping it up.
Yeah, as well as
Square Enix. Yeah. But they do this all the time, and like somebody's got to look at these games and be like, you might be spending a little bit too much on your marketing here, guys. Like
EA and Immortals.
Yeah, EA and Immortals, whatever the fuck it's called. Somebody's got to look at that. Somebody must look like your QA people must be looking at this game and going, "How much have you spent on your marketing for this game?" Oh, about 52 million. Do you not think that's a little bit too much?
No, the same amount as it actually cost to make the game.
Do you not think that's a little bit too much? Nah, I'll be fine if this is going to make gangbusters. Are you sure about that? You just need John Cena's face to come through the wall and just be like, "Are you sure about that?" Like. And I'm just like look at Redfall for Microsoft.
Oh,
like the marketing around that, and then that came out, and I'm sorry, somebody must have seen that game and gone, you might be spending a little bit too much on your marketing, just a bit.
I mean, hell, Starfield, with the marketing of the most important,
and that's sort of bollocks.
Like when they come out with it and I go, and I'm pretty sure like someone in the team must have known about Baldur's Gate 3 and the state the Starfield was compared to Baldur's Gate 3, and I go, guys, we can't really say that.
We can't be saying this.
We can't be saying this.
We can't be saying this.
What do you mean? It is going. It's a new Bethesda IP. People are going to love it. I mean, at start maybe, but once they start getting into the nitty gritty of the game and realizing that yes, they have to walk a good 10 miles constantly from place to place, where we've done no improvement to the combat.
With no nothing to do, by the way. Nothing to do.
Yeah, it's not like Skyrim where we can put like caves everywhere and shrines everywhere. Because if we did that, the game wouldn't release.
Yeah,
game wouldn't be able. We couldn't release the game. It would never get released. A la
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. Hey, you know, both start with Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, Sony. Just a...
I do kind of wonder about that, right? Because they came out during the it's not the trial about buying Activision.
Yeah.
They came out saying that they bought Bethesda because Sony were looking to make Starfield an exclusive.
Yeah.
Right. Do you reckon now that they look back on that and go, maybe we shouldn't have bought Bethesda?
Maybe. And Sony, and Sony going, Microsoft saved us one there, didn't they?
I mean, luckily, the Fallout TV show has done absolutely brilliant
but
things.
The thing is that it's gotten people to play Fallout again, which Fallout, just like Skyrim and Oblivion, because it's not a giant universe, a giant galaxy like Starfield.
Yeah.
They can combine.
No, that's what I'm saying. Luckily for Microsoft, because the Fallout TV show has done quite well.
Yeah.
People are playing the Fallout games, and technically, you can say Fallout is a Microsoft game now. I mean, it's not, but but you know, people. It's amazing how like the media and people on YouTube just instantly forget that these games existed before the buy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I love it. It's like the whole thing of like they were going, the top 10 games are mostly Microsoft games for PlayStation Store.
Oh yeah, Call of Duty out before the buy.
Out before the buy. All the Fallout games out before the buy. Skyrim out before the buy.
Multiple times, every version.
Yeah. So
remember, Skyrim was a PS3
game. I think the only one that's come out that's in the top 10 is Grounded. That is actually a Microsoft game. Oh, Sea of Thieves has only just come out.
Yeah, and Hi-Fi Rush.
And Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is there as well. So 3 games. And you can't really class Sea of Thieves because it wasn't there when you were saying all this shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in the pre-order. So you can two games. But yeah, it's amazing how people just instantly forget that all these games existed before Microsoft bought them.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft, they're Microsoft game. No, they're not.
No, Microsoft are winning in the PlayStation Network. You do know Sony gets a cut of every sale.
Yeah, do you think PlayStation gives a shit what games are in their top 10 as long as they're making money?
No. Do you honestly care? Do you honestly think Sony cares about what games are on their blooming network? Because I've seen some of them. They are bad.
Oh yeah.
There is no quality control. So, as long as it's the decent Microsoft games coming through, I don't think they give a shit.
They don't care. As long as they're making money,
as long as they're getting their cut, they don't care. Yeah.
Do not care.
But yeah, this is Sony's. It is the most self-inflicted L. All they needed to do, just like what was it we were talking about last week, or was it the week before, where we were like, all you had to do was nothing. Who were we going on about?
What do you mean?
Was it last week or the week before? We were saying all they had to do was nothing. All they had to do is sit on their ass and do nothing, and nothing. It would have been fine. But no, they did something and it was terrible. And I can't remember what it was.
I think it was Sony again.
No, was it not Ubisoft? I want to say Ubisoft, but for the Star Wars.
No, because the thing we were talking about there was the whole thing that they've paywalled.
Yeah.
The Jabba the Hutt stuff that they've been showing off.
It's going to annoy me because I'm trying to remember what the hell we talked about. But anyway, again, the Sony just stop it. Just stop it. It's stupid. It's dumb. You don't. The most annoying thing is that they didn't need to do it. They literally just did not need to do what they did. And anyone in their own right mind would have realised that this was been the outcome, and they would have had to backtrack. And all they've done is damage their reputation. It's so stupidly obvious, and yet Sony still went ahead with it. It's like, are you blind?
Yes.
Can the AAA game industry as a whole just stop being ridiculously dumb? In a bad way.
Unfortunately, no.
You know, when you're ridiculously dumb in a fun way, it's fun. But when you're this type of dumb, all it does is piss people off.
Yeah, can you go back to being dumb in the fun way where you would make stupid decisions and everybody would just laugh at you?
Yeah.
because they would just be really dumb decisions, and it wouldn't actually hurt anybody.
Yeah, it didn't actually hurt anyone. That's all we want. You know, if you want to make dumb decisions, fine, but don't make dumb decisions that hurt people, that piss people off. Just don't do it. Just don't stop it.
Okay, so moving on.
Yes.
So in this country, in the UK, there has been a petition to basically make a regulator of video games. Right now, this petition started up after The Crew, the whole thing with The Crew, with Ubisoft basically taking it away
and making it unplayable,
and
then remove not only that, but removing people's access.
Yes.
By revoking their license keys that if they bought it on like Steam, for example.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. So there was a petition to make basically a UK regulator that basically gets companies to keep these type of games, so live services in particular, in a working state. So basically, if you like, basically kind of like what they've done with the Avengers game, whereas there's nothing new coming out for it. But if you bought that game and you enjoyed it, you can actually still play that game. Yeah,
basically, they've stopped developing for it.
Yeah,
but they're going to keep.
Yeah, there's not going to be any more updates or anything like that.
Basically, they've said they're going to keep the servers open, or work out a way to make it like host versions. So hopefully, yeah, and that, like we said, like that's what should happen. Is if you're not going to keep the servers open, what you should do is make the game playable for those people who have it.
So, the UK government has responded to a petition asking for government intervention to force the industry to keep video games in a reasonably working state when support ends, rather than allowing them to become unplayable, such as when online services are shut down. The petition was prompted by the closure in March of 10-year-old Ubisoft racing game The Crew. Consumers should be aware that there is no requirement in the UK law compelling software companies and providers to support older versions of their operating systems, software or connected products. There may be occasions where companies make commercial decisions based on a high running cost of maintaining older servers for commercial decisions based on servers for video games that have declining user bases. However, video game sellers must comply with existing consumer law, including the Consumer Rights Act of 2015 and the Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulations 2008. That's basically their response. The Crew servers were shut down for good earlier this year, and since it had no offline mode, this rendered the game unplayable even in single player. The closure prompted YouTuber Ross Scott to start a campaign called Stop Killing Games. The campaign encourages players to raise the issue of forced video game obsolescence.
Obsolescence, yeah, basically making it obsolete.
With governments and regulators, thus prompting this petition. The government's response explains the current regulations and what might constitute a breach of them in this context. Digital context such as video game must, for example, be of satisfactory quality, fit for a particular purpose, and as described by the seller. So, for basically, you can't release a live service as a buggy mess.
They're not supposed to be able to, but
but there's unfortunately for live services, they do the whole workaround thing.
Yeah. And don't worry, it will eventually be there. And also, they agree. They signed the EULA, so they have agreed to this.
Yeah.
No one reads that bloody thing. Yeah. And also, if I've
spent 70 quid
on a game, I want it to work.
Yeah. On the issue of satisfactory quality, the regulation would only be breached if they are not of the standard which a reasonable person would consider to be satisfactory, taking into account circumstances including the price and any description given. So Ubisoft are fucked because let's be honest, they can't produce a good game if they fucking tried.
Yeah. Also, last time I checked, when you buy a game and you've bought a game. And doesn't matter how long later, you should be allowed to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So them removing the keys from you and stopping you from playing the
game.
game.
If you've paid money for a product,
you should
be able to have that product.
Yes.
Like it's not a fucking it's not a fast food restaurant.
No.
It's not I bought one burger, I've had it, and I want another one, so I need to pay again. No, it doesn't work like that. We don't get to do that. No, you don't get a.
But the thing is, though, you pay for that one burger, you get that burger.
Yeah.
But also, if I've bought a game digitally, compared to, I should still be able to do everything that I could if I bought the game physically.
Yeah.
So, the very fact that Ubisoft removed the key access to those who bought it digitally means basically they've took it away from them. So they should refund them for the price that they paid for it.
Yeah, well, we all know that's not going to happen.
But that's not going to happen. Because they'll go, but the devaluation over time. Those people paid money to play the game for as long as they want. That's what happens when you buy a game. You should be allowed to play that game for as long as you want. If you're not happy with that, Ubisoft, then how about you making a subscription service for every single one of your games? But I doubt you'll do that because no one would pay you.
I think in this day, when it comes to the crew, I don't think regulators should be a thing. Right? Just hear me out. I don't think regulators should be a thing, but at the same time,
the gaming industry as a whole has shown itself unable to regulate itself. Therefore, there should be regulators.
Yes. At the same time, I also don't think companies like Ubisoft should be allowed to just take things that if you're going to put something that you have to have an online a connection for, hence the crew. Like if you're going to put something on there, you don't get to just take that away just because there's only 50 people playing the game now. No, because those 50 people bought that game.
I know some people are going to come out and go, but Blood Hunt got cancelled and XYZ game got cancelled. Yeah, the vast majority of those games are free to play. Like, you didn't pay money to play the game. You
paid money for skins.
You paid money for pixels.
Yeah.
And you got access to those pixels.
Don't get me wrong, it sucks that the game got taken away. But you didn't actually pay...
Yeah, Gundam Evolution.
Yeah, that sucks.
I
like that game.
That game, I enjoyed that game. That you paid for... You did not pay to play the game. That game was given to people for free. So there is a counter argument, no matter how douchebaggery it is, of saying, well, they didn't pay for the game anyway, so we can choose when to pull the plug.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really does. It's annoying, but that is the risk-reward thing of a free-to-play game.
Don't get me wrong, if Hoyoverse decided to pull Genshin, I'd be pissed.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. Genshin is their cash cow. They're never going to do that.
Well, no, it's Honkai now. Honkai's there. And then, by the looks of things, it's Zenless Zone Zero.
The thing is that Genshin still makes enough money.
Yeah, it does.
For them to not...
Money. Zenless Zone Zero looks like it's going to be the next cash cow, because it does look good. Yeah. Like, it looks really good.
Wuthering Heights, on the other hand, looks amazing.
Wuthering Waves.
Wuthering Waves.
Wuthering Waves looks fucking mint.
A gacha Devil May Cry.
Oh my god. The combat looks so fun.
It does. But, anyway. This, like I say, this was only a matter of time. Now, granted, it is the UK government, which means if they do set up a regulator, it probably will have the same teeth as a 90-year-old person with dentures.
And can't walk anymore.
Yeah, and the authority of a squid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everyone's going on about the football regulator.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's not going to do anything.
No,
it's not going to do anything. It's fucking Britain. It's not going to do anything.
We at the moment have a water regulator that are doing absolutely fuck all about the water companies dumping raw sewage into our rivers. That is in such it's such a bad state that our beaches, which used to be the cleanest in Europe, are now.
Yeah,
well, put it this way. There were tournaments. There were river swimming competitions and rowing competitions and beach surfing, etc. competitions that now have to check the E. coli readings of the area of the event in order to decide whether or not to go ahead. That should not be a thing. But it is, because fuck us having an actual decent system, because privatisation.
Fuck us having, like, something nice. We're not allowed nice things, mate.
We're not allowed nice things. Anyway, we're digressing. But we're just pointing out that even if there is regulation, we're not holding out too much hope that it's going to actually have any teeth. It'd be nice if it did. But we know the AAA game industry will fight this tooth and nail, because the worst thing that can happen to their little blooming basket of money that will go to the Seychelles and whatever other tax-free haven, the worst thing that can happen for them is regulation, because then they couldn't abuse the player base the way they do.
The UK government petition is going to remain open until October 16th. And if it reaches 100,000 signatures, it has to be...
It is by law. If a petition in the UK reaches 100,000 signatories, it has to be debated in the House of Commons. Now that...
I now want this to get 100,000 signatures, because I want to see all those old fogies try and talk about this.
Yes, the problem is that I know what will happen. As a person who has seen these sort of things get
debated,
there will be about 20 people in Parliament to debate it. They will be honestly like 5 people from the Tory party who will not know what the fuck they're talking about, and 5 people from everywhere else, from all the other parties who actually do know what they're talking about. But obviously there's only 5 people, only 5 of them. And then they'll debate, and nothing will happen.
Oh, I know, but I generally want to see these people talk about it, because it's going to be funny.
There will be at least... Right, here's the thing. It will be funny for people arguing against it, because they won't have actually done their research. They'll have just literally gone to EA and gone, hey, you know that surprise mechanics thing you talked about? Is there any reason why we won't want to have regulators? And then they'd go into Parliament and say, well, EA says they're perfectly happy with themselves. They're perfectly fine.
We don't need to do anything. Everything seems fine.
You know. And there'll be one person who will usually be on the opposition, but and I say this because it's a Tory party in the Conservatives currently in government, so the opposition are, Labour and all the others. But anyway, someone on the opposition benches will be knowledgeable or will have done their research. And they will be absolutely knowledgeable and ask questions that will not get answered. That's how debates in Parliament work. And I have work in a very loose term. It does a lot of lifting, the word work, at the moment. Especially... Look, I'm diverging anyway. So, I would like I say, if the AAA game industry could regulate itself, there wouldn't be a need. But it doesn't. It doesn't regulate itself. I mean, EA sells basically packets of gambling for footballers to children. So, yes, they need to be regulated. But I doubt it's going to happen.
Moving on?
Yes.
Right, so I couldn't find much good news other than... Because, believe it or not, most of the news has literally just been Helldivers.
Helldivers has pretty just took over everything. Because it's been such a negative reaction. Like, everyone and their dog is talking about it.
So, to find some good news for us to end on...
Yes.
So, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been announced and is going to be as big, twice as big, as the original, a behemoth of a game.
Now, again, Stellaris is a very big game. But, and also, Starfield is a very big game. But
the difference here is, number one, Starfield was promising thousands of planets.
That is very true.
Right. This is just Bohemia. That's it.
Well, it's going to be twice as... Well, that was the first game with Bohemia. Twice the size. So we're talking about twice the size, so probably Bohemia and Pomerania.
Probably. But that's about it. Right?
Yeah.
And it's very...
Still a big-ass area.
It's still a big-ass area, but my point is that, it's not hard for them to make this... if you played the first one... like, other than it being kind of buggy, with it being an open world first person night game, of course it's going to be buggy. Well, of course it's going to have its bugs. But other than being buggy, it was good. Mm-hmm. Like, it did what it said it was going to do. You are a knight. It's realistic in Bohemian. And it's realistically... Oh, what the fuck do they call it? Hold on.
Simulation?
Yeah, basically you are a knight. That would be back then. Yeah. Like, there's no dragons, it's not fantasy.
Yeah, it's
nothing like that.
It's a historical depiction.
Yeah. So, and this isn't going to be hard to do with it being twice. The engines that exist now, you can do it. This is why, games like this will show why the creation engine is too old and needs to be put out to pasture.
Or at least, a new version of the creation engine needs to be made.
Instead of just stuff whacked onto it and being like, look, it's new. It's not.
Yeah. Or hell, basically just reworked, because, like, making a game engine is not easy. I totally understand.
The only reason why I say I think they need an actual new engine is because the creation engine is so old.
True. But if
you can only keep slapping so many new things on there.
I totally understand that, but what I mean is like, break it down to the ground and rebuild it again. So in a sense, making a new one, but using the creation engine as like a backbone.
Well, yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Warhorse Studios has officially announced Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the sequel to its popular RPG set in medieval Bohemia. Warhorse Studios fully unveiled the sequel at a private event last week, confirming among other things that it will be twice as large as the original, touting it as a behemoth of a game. We are making it now. Making now is what it was supposed to be in the beginning, but we weren't able to because we didn't have enough resources and experiences and all that stuff. Creative director Daniel Vara said in the presentation, "We've proven the concept works, so now we can take it to another level, which is what we always wanted." Now, if you played the first one, it's actually really, really good. Yes. It's really fun.
I've seen people play it. It looks really fun. I think I haven't played it because I know I would literally just end up spending 8 hours in it. Be like, I started playing this at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I can't play long games.
It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I can't play long games anymore because I'll get like a bit into it and then somebody will come along. I'll get a message on my phone or somebody will pop up on PlayStation. You'll be like, "You on?" Oh, fuck's sake.
You put yourself as Do Not Disturb. That's what you should do. You should mark yourself as Do Not Disturb.
You actually think... You've met my friends. You actually think that would work.
No, true. True. You have a point there. However, I totally understand. Yeah, I am of the, like, I start at 10 o'clock in the morning and then don't realise it's 2 o'clock in the following morning. And then go, I should really be going to bed, but let's finish this quest. I do 2 hours after that.
Actually, you know what's been doing that to me? Stellar Blade has been doing that to me. I've been like, right, okay, I beat this area, let's, I've got this one little quest, let's go do that. So I'll do the quest, I'll go back to the bulletin board, I'll give it in, and then 2 more quests will show up. And I'll go, oh, it's only 2 more.
Yeah.
I'll do them. And then I'll go back, and then another one will pop up. Oh, it's only 1 more.
It's only 1 more.
Stellar Blade is amazing.
Final Fantasy 16 did that to me for a totally different reason. Oh, it's just a boss. Leviathan.
That is an evil boss. That is an evil boss.
I have issues with that boss. I really do. It makes me angry. I'm really upset with that boss.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will seek to build on the success of the original game, which drew attention for the way that it mixed Elder Scrolls-like first-person exploration with a granular focus on historical detail. While it received mixed reviews from critics, yes. Do you want to know what the mixed reviews were with?
I
critics?
remember like people saying, the critics were saying, "Oh, it's boring."
No.
Go on.
Now, medieval Bohemia. Remember this.
Yes.
There's not enough diversity in medieval Bohemia.
Look, I'm as a person that is interested in history, granted military history, but history in all, because affects everything that happens. That all these events happen or affected by events that happened before, and blah blah blah. Right? Yes, the myth that there was just white people in Europe is not true, because there were ambassadors or traders or people from countries like Morocco, and I can't remember what they were called at the time, but and the Ottoman Empire, etc., etc. Well, not it would have been Byzantines, but like there were people from the Middle East and from North Africa and further south, like countries like Mali. There were traders and all that, and diplomats. They did exist in medieval times. That would be around. They would be sent up to the medieval countries for trade and all that sort of stuff. But there would not be even a minute minority. There would be like very, very few.
Yeah.
People of different cultures.
The thing with Kingdom Come is you kind of start off in like a little village. That's where you start off. You start off in a little village. You're not in a massive city. You're not in
one of the major capitals.
Yeah, you're basically like on a farm. You're one of the groups that like deliver food.
Yeah.
To
and in the back in those days, people travelled by horse and cart. And there's a thing called the Mediterranean Sea. And the River Suez.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of other rivers. And also, crossing into other countries wasn't just an easy thing to do. I mean, depending on the border, you could. But then, if you got stopped by certain patrols, they'd be, asking you, why you're here, what you're doing, where's your papers, And these were not easy to come by. So, travelling from country to country solely to go live in that country was not a very common thing. Unless you were fleeing from war. Unless you were fleeing from something that was chasing, fighting.
Unless you were Genghis Khan's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you were running from the Mongols.
Yeah.
Which, it was understandable at the time. People didn't willingly choose to travel thousands upon thousands of miles, unless it was their job.
Yeah, but medieval Bohemia, there's not enough diversity in there. I remember that criticism, and I just remember being like, "Well, hold on, I know my bits of mythology, and knowing mythology, you also kind of learn the types of people that follow that mythology, and knowing what I know." Medieval Bohemia didn't have a lot of diversity.
No. Yeah. Was it completely...
It wasn't everybody's white, but it was in this case of like what you said. A lot of them were ambassadors or tradespeople that were passing through.
Either passing through or they were conducting their business there.
Yeah, and then they were fucking off.
Yeah.
They were like, right, we've got all the gold that we can get here. We're going to move on.
I've done this trade, or I've got this... this agreement with this lord in this castle. I now have to take this piece of paper back to my lord for him to agree to it. So that's going to be a month.
That's
just apply some common sense. That's all we ask for. It's not hard.
But yeah, so basically moving back onto this. Sorry about that. That was my fault.
It was a tangent
there. To that end of making it much bigger, there are now, instead of 3 houses, there are 5. So that's pretty cool. We've got 5. And to be fair, that's medieval. Yeah, that sounds about right. Depending on where you are, 5 houses was kind of the norm.
Yeah, because
depending on where you are.
Yeah, depending on where you are, depending on how powerful the
kingdom was.
Yeah, the kingdom was. Like, if it was a small kingdom, they wouldn't have... It would not be ideal to have, like, only one of a house in charge of land, because then they get uppity and go, I should be king, not him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, it's the whole thing of divide and make them just fight themselves, sort of thing.
So, with this, we're no longer going to be dealing with small nobility. Well, I mean, we are, but it's not the main part. Because in the first one, you're mainly dealing with, like, dukes and counts and all that sort of stuff. You're not really... And I think lords are, like, the highest that you go. in Kingdom Come 1. This second one, we're actually going to be dealing with kings.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So yeah, we'll probably...
Because we're kind of, like, you're kind of...
It is literally going to be the Kingdom of Bohemia. Then.
Yeah.
The whole of the Kingdom of Bohemia.
It's medieval Bohemia. And you pretty much kind of, like a band of mercenaries, pretty much. You're doing odd jobs for lords and all that sort of stuff. But it's a good game. I think... I'm actually quite looking forward to it. The fact that it's bigger, like there's another medieval game that's just come out. It's more of a strategy game, Manor Lords.
Oh, Manor Lords, yes.
That looks really fucking cool.
It is a strategy / city builder, type game, which is like, I really should look at that. I really should.
I'm glad. I'm actually quite happy that medieval games are coming back into.
Medieval stuff is cool. I mean, granted, I wouldn't want to actually live in the medieval.
No. I just mean games. I'm just talking about games.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Medieval times is pretty interesting because it is like the period between the fall of the Roman Empire to the Renaissance. Basically, like it is literally like all these like groups that were either part of the Roman Empire trying to find their way, or got constantly against the Roman Empire and now don't have the Roman Empire. And I was like, okay, what the fuck do we do now? We've been always fighting the Romans. The Romans are gone. Well, are they gone? No. There's a whole bunch of them in Byzantines, in Constantinople, but they're all the way in the east, and they've got they're dealing with the Persians, so they ain't got time to deal with us. We've now got a king of Italy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so it's such an interesting time because like a lot of like culture that the countries of Europe have now is
it originated then.
Yeah, in forms like the rivalry between England and France is because of the 100 Years' War. And that's the medieval period. That is literally the medieval period for the vast majority. Like, and the whole like if anyone knows about the Auld Alliance between Scotland and France, that stems from the medieval times.
Bonnie Prince Charlie.
That's different. That's the Renaissance. That's beyond. That's
the Renaissance. I know, but.
Yeah, it's been beyond the Renaissance. It's the beginning of the Imperial.
Look, all
Europe.
I know is everybody's wearing fluffy hats. Right, that's all I need to know.
But like, what I'm on about is like King David I and aligning with.
It's William the Conqueror and all that sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's medieval time.
Yeah.
It
is the founding of. It's the founding.
Basically, any king that is mentioned in a Shakespearean play, that is in the medieval times.
Yeah, it's
mostly.
It's the founding of England.
Yeah, the founding of England. Even the founding of Scotland as Scotland and as a nation. Because before it was the tribal kingdom, the tribals of the Picts. And then the Scots came over and kicked the Picts out. And like the why we have France and Germany the way they are, the why France and Germany have been at loggerheads fighting each other for centuries. Italy wanting to be a kingdom for years, despite being beaten up by the Holy Roman Empire, the Pope. France.
Yes, because back then the Pope did. The Pope beat people up.
The Papal States. The Pope had an army. Like which just it's so interesting to me that like this place, the Vatican, that we know of as just basically the home of the Pope and the home of the Catholic Church, back in the medieval times was an actual power. Was an actual like. Yeah, you don't get on our bad side because one, I excommunicate you, and two, this giant ass Catholic army that believes God is on their side is going to march into your kingdom and burn shit to the ground. Why? Because I told them that was what was going to happen. Because I'm the Pope.
But yeah, back to games. I am quite glad we're getting the whole medieval-y stuff.
Yeah, it's nice
coming back.
I think one of the things that started off was success of Age of Empires 2, maybe. And also the Kingdom.
I think Kingdom Come started. Chivalry 2 as well.
Yeah.
That is a fun game, even if it is buggy as fuck. That game is still fun. The fact that you can just chop a guy's arm off and then start hitting people with the arm is just...
The very fact that just out of nowhere you can be hit with a ballista bolt.
Yeah.
A la fucking Lord... a la the Two Towers in Lord of the Rings.
That is the only game that I've never, like, even when I've died, I've never gone, oh, fuck you. I've literally gone, you know what? Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve that
That's
one.
right.
That sounds about right. It is literally how a medieval fight would go, so it's fine.
The ballista bolt was fired wildly at that
random
that siege engine, and because the guy got killed, it turned slightly to the right and just pierced right through me. And now I'm halfway across the battlefield. I mean, granted, I'm not because I'm dead. I'm also half across the battlefield and half in the middle of it. But...
Chivalry 2. They keep updating that, you know. It's like new stuff. It's cool. It's a cool
fun.
game.
It's fun. It's chaotic. It is absolute chaos, but... No, it's I you know, as a person that takes real massive interest in history, I love it when games come out of even if it's not my cup of tea, I will always like have a look at it. Have a look at games that are set in maybe medieval time or historically set, because it's like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And so yeah, it's good, and I'm hoping all the best for them. And again, like the fact that the reason why it's 2 times bigger now is because this is what they actually want. This was the size of the game they wanted originally, but they couldn't. They just, you know, they were learning their trade sort of thing in regards to this type of game. But now that they're confident enough, I think, you know, that's the way. When you want to make a giant ass game, I think that's the way you do it. You basically make sure that you know the basic founding.
Yeah, you either do that or you do what Sucker Punch did and just make Infamous.
Yeah,
because to be fair, that's their first open world game. And that was fucking good.
It was. No, but also it wasn't really that big.
Yeah, but it's still an open world game.
It was. Yeah, it was an open. That's what I'm saying. It was like they didn't make it massive.
Yeah.
They didn't go Ubisoft fucking the state of Nevada size. They didn't go Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, that's true.
Instantly.
That's true.
They started small and they've you know, through sufficient games they've gone bigger.
I'll probably be looking at Kingdom Come 2 because it's an open world game and I'm a sucker for open world games.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. Open world RPGs, you've got me.
Yeah. You will have a look.
I will always have a look at it. Always have a look at it. It's why, like, I don't even really play Ubisoft games anymore. I mean, if they came out and was like, "Oh, the Division 3's coming," I'd probably give that a look because I like the Division. I like the concept, and I like the Division 2 up until the gangs of the New York
Warlords of New York.
I liked it up until then, and then I just like, no, this is shit.
This is bullshit.
This is bollocks. I cannot be bothered with this bollocks anymore.
Oh, you're used to playing the game in a certain way. Guess what? We're now going to change everything.
You can't play it this way anymore.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to play it this way for this one specific thing, as I like to call.
I mean, I like Mirage, Assassin's Creed Mirage, but that's more because it's an old school Assassin's Creed. I'm probably not going to touch Assassin's Creed Red. I'm probably not going to touch that. Although I am quite interested in Hex.
Which one is that?
Assassin's Creed Hex is the one that's going to be set in Salem.
Ah, yes.
Is that one. So I'm quite interested in what that's going to be. Because number one, Salem's not a very big place.
True.
And number two, Salem's only famous for one thing.
If you're going to set it during the Salem witch trials, you can't make your current Assassin's Creed games. You can't make it like Origins or Valhalla. You can't make it like them.
Yeah,
you have to literally go make it a different type of game.
This is to me. This is going to have to be some sort of like horror game.
Yeah.
If you're going to do the Salem witch trials,
yeah,
we got to make it horror. Like it's the only way forward. So I'm quite interested about that. But other than that, there's really nothing there for Ubisoft. I'm trying to think what other games are coming out. Sandland looks good. Apparently it's all right. I haven't actually
Played it.
Played it. I didn't even play the demo. But of what I've seen of it, it looks alright. I might give it a go one day.
I've seen good things from it.
I might just get it just because it's Toriyama's last work, to be honest with you.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's a good place to end.
Yep.
On games to play. Buy Stellar Blade. I know it's Sony, but buy Stellar Blade. It's a good game. Don't listen to everybody else talking about, oh, she doesn't wear any clothes. She does wear clothes.
Or those people that say, it's been censored. Seriously.
It's been censored in the sense of she's wearing more lace.
Which, you know, have you ever heard the phrase, less is more?
Or more is less.
Or more is less. Sometimes more, especially when it comes to lace.
I do have the bunny girl outfit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found that. Anyway. I do hope you enjoyed this chat, and we'll see you in the next ones. Bye now!
Toodles!